I'm going to tell you guys something very interesting. We're going to answer the question, is it better in Judaism to be more strict or no? Now my dear Talmidah initially said, yeah, it's more stringent. You heard Naomi said, no, he's no good. Yes, good. Everybody's confused. Why? Because in one sense, it's good to be stringent. We heard from the story of Rabbi Yaron. He was stringent in regards to shaking hands. It's good. Thank you. But, sometimes it's not good. One isn't that good. We heard a different story yesterday. Rav Mordechai Eliyahu, somebody came to him, one of the Avrachim came to him and said, Rabbi, can I, from now on, get your permission to wear my tefillin all day so I can study while I'm wearing tefillin all day like the tzaddikim in the Gemara? And Rav Mordechai Eliyahu says no. Why no? Even though it's a mitzvah, even though it's fantastic, he says if this additional stringency will make you think in your heart that you're better than everybody else in the kollel, one time, your whole life, it's not worth it. Why would you think you're better? Because you have 500 people in the kollel, and you're the only one that's put on tefillin. So it's going to be distinguishable. So in essence, even if they're not saying anything to you, you're going to see yourself. You're going to say, wait, I'm wearing tefillin, nobody else is wearing tefillin. You're going to feel good about yourself. If you feel good about yourself, that you're better than anybody else, one time in your entire life, and that's essence, that dust of pride enters your heart, it was better off you never added the stringency. Why? Because that's how much Hashem hates pride. So we see that stringency has a time and place. Now, the interesting part is that in both cases, there's a permission from a Torah to do, there's a permission from a Torah not to do. Meaning, the Avrech came to his rabbi, it says in the Torah to do it. But the rabbi said no. Why? Because he knows the student, in essence, the rabbi is right for saying no. At the time of Rav Ovadia, there is a leniency to shake hands. But the rabbi said no. Why? Because it's, and so on and so forth. Meaning that it's not black and white. But in both cases, you see that it's not just a black and white law, there's also something called Da'at Torah, the opinion of the Torah, based on this specific situation. What happens when you do not seek the opinion of the Torah? And you seek your own opinion? I mean, after all, Tzelem Elokim, Kadosh Baruch Hu created you in His image. No, you're so special. Your opinion should count for something. No. After all, you're smart. You finished a few Masechtot in the Gemara. Some people even call you Rabbi. You know, Chacham, no. Your opinion, no? The Gemara in Masechet Yevamot says, someone that does not seek the assistance of a rabbi, meaning someone that does not ask his rabbi questions, and in essence becomes their own rabbi, the Gemara in Masechet Yevamot, page 109b, says, HaKadosh Baruch Hu hates this person. Why? Because in essence, they're so proud that they think they know everything. And we have one of the stories that you're going to listen, if you understand what I'm about to say to you, you may have to grab out your chairs. Some time ago, I told you of a story that's in the Gemara, Masechet Chaya, page 4b. It says that there was a certain woman that the Satan decided to take out of the world, but by mistake. Rav Bivi, one of the Tanaim, was friends with the Satan. Satan likes tzaddikim. So he came to him and said, you want me to show you what I do? And he said, yeah. So, the Rav Bivi was shown by the Satan how the Satan takes out neshamot. So, the Satan tells one of his servants, go bring me the neshama of Miriam Megadela, Miriam the caretaker. Go bring me. And the Servant goes, brings the neshama, is Miriam. Satan tells him, hey, it's the wrong Miriam. I didn't ask you for this Miriam. It's the wrong Miriam. Okay, so should I bring this one back? He goes, no, this one, leave it anyway. Go bring the other one anyway. We have to bring it. It's time for her to die. So it's a peculiar story, and then we go into the details, how, who, what, when, and how, but we're not going to go into that because we've already discussed that in the past. But just remember, now who is this Miriam? And why does she deserve to die? I mean, we should know. Her name is mentioned. If it was just some woman, then it doesn't matter who she is. Then why would the Gemara mention her name? If it's your name is mentioned, there's a reason for it. Meaning there's significance here of who and what and how. Who is this Miriam? You're not going to find that in the Gemara Masechet Chagigah, page 4b. You're going to find it somewhere else. You have to go to Gemara Masechet Gitin. Last page, page 90. Gemara Masechet Gitin says, what are the appropriate ways for a woman to behave and for a husband to let a woman behave? He says there are some husbands that the way they eat is the way they treat their wife, in essence. And some people that if they see a fly in their drink, they take the fly out and drink the water. He says that's normal. That's a normal husband. That's a person that allows his wife to deal with regular people, not to banter around and start talking to every guy on the street and so on. But if it's family, if it's friends, if it's hello, it's goodbye, general basic behavior, he's the bank teller, here's the money, thank you very much, basic stuff, normal, necessary conversation. This is what it represents. Because today, any one of us sees a fly in our drink, we throw it out, but that's because we're all rich in comparison to the people of 2,000 years ago. Back then, you know, if you weren't rich, you weren't going to throw out the water right away. So someone that just saw there's something that's flying in their water, they would take it out and drink it. And that, in essence, makes them normal, representing a normal husband. A normal husband, which, in essence, he allows his wife to act normal. If there's a, let's say, UPS guy comes to the house, she's able to answer the door. All right, thank you very much, goodbye, takes the box, no problem. It's allowed to take the box. She's not hugging the guy. She's not saying, hey, how's your family, where's your kids, where you guys vacation? No, that's not allowed. But just basic conversation, thank you, no problem. That's normal. Normal behavior, no problem. It says then there's a guy that's a Rasha. What's this guy that's a Rasha? Guy that's a Rasha that allows his wife to go out without modesty, sleeveless, and without kisui rosh, and he doesn't care even if she goes into a bathhouse and there's still men there. He's like a guy that sees the fly and drinks the fly with the water. He doesn't care about nothing. That's a Rasha. But then there's a guy that sees the fly, throws out the fly and the water together. He throws out everything. He says that's extreme fanatic behavior. Like who? Like a person by the name of Papus ben Yehuda. Who's Papus ben Yehuda? Papus ben Yehuda lived at the time of the Gemara. And it says that Papus ben Yehuda saw that his wife was one of the most beautiful women alive. Something special. And he says there's no way that people are not going to look at her. No way. So, for modesty reasons, honey, whatever you need, I'll get it for you. Go on Amazon.com, order whatever you want. You don't need to go to the store. You don't need to go to the mall. You want something, I'll give it for you. But you're not allowed to leave the house. Not allowed to leave the house. No store, no deli, no work, nothing. Whatever you need, I'll bring it to the house. No problem. And Papus ben Yehuda would leave the house and lock the door behind him, not allowing his wife to leave the house. The most she can do was look outside the porch to see the outside. And the Gemara says this, wait, this is a mitzvah? You think she's modest because of this? You think he's a tzaddik because of this? He says, look what happened. On Yom Kippur, Pappus' wife, Miriam. The same Miriam from the Gemara Masechet Chagigah, it says. She's had it. Pappus says to her, Ani, I'm going to shul, tzaddik, fasting, go pray all day, see you tomorrow. He leaves. And Rabotai Yekarim, this guy called Yosef Pendira. Notice as the husband left, and he knows Miriam from back in the day. He goes, Miriam, when are you ever going to come out? And Miriam says, she's so annoyed already, she hasn't been out of the house in so long, she says, Yosef, when are you going to save me? He says, today. Climbs to the house, takes her out of the house, and they run away together and sin adultery on Yom Kippur. Now, Rabotai, we say what happened from the sin. What happened from the sin is they had a son. Their son, who is their son? Their son, Rabotai, don't jump the gun yet. Don't start naming names yet. Don't start naming names. It's not nice. Lashon hara. Their son, Rabotai, is named in the Gemara Masechet Shabbat. But if you read Masechet Shabbat, unless you know what Rabbi Ephraim Sheikhye wrote in his Achtov LiYisrael, Chelik Bet, all the commentary from the Khatam Sofer and other Chachamim, you're not going to know what it says in Masechet Shabbat. Why? Because Masechet Shabbat, page 104b says, are we allowed to draw on our hands, make marks on our hands with our fingers? Is that violating Shabbat? Is that considered writing? And it says, well, it should be considered writing because there was a person by the name of Ben Sidata. Ben Sidata, he wrote all types of witchcraft on his skin. And because anytime you would get the witchcraft, the Egyptians would catch you at the border, and they don't want you to take the witchcraft with you, because that's their, in essence, that's their possession, that's their stuff. So he couldn't write the spells on paper, so he wrote it on his skin. So he wrote it, he wrote on his skin, and it worked. Gemara says, no, we don't learn halachot from crazy people. He's a shotelis, Ben Sidata. So the Baalei Tosfot says, who is this Ben Sidata? Ben Sidata means Ben Sota, the son of the wayward woman. Who's the wayward woman? The Khatam Sofer says the wayward woman is the same Miriam that cheated on her husband, Pappus ben Yehuda, with Yosef ben Dita. So who is the son? Okay, this is the wayward woman. She cheated. Khatam Sofer says a chidush of a lifetime. Who's the son? Yeshu Anotzri. Yeshu imach shimo vezichro. That's how he came to the world. From what? From his mother cheating on our original husband with some goy. That's how Yeshu came to the world, Rabotai. Where did he come from? Mitzvah. Modesty. There's a modesty in our life. Who asked you to be that modest? You lock yourself in a house. Meaning, Rabotai, that when a person does not listen to Da'at Torah and double checks themselves, even your mitzvah can turn into the biggest sin that's ever happened in history. How many millions of Jews have died because of this sin? That looked like a mitzvah. She wanted to be modest inside the house. He wanted her to be modest inside the house. No guy ever sees. No one ever sees on her. Who asked you to do this? Who asked you? There are halachic permissions to do certain things. There are halachic restrictions to not do certain things. A person needs to know what to do, what not to do, based on the Torah, not based on their logic. Now, when a person takes things to their own mind and they start deciding this is the halacha, comes from pride. Because they assume they're right and they don't have to double check. All of us have pride. This is why HaKadosh Baruch Hu had mercy on us and He allowed us to write the oral Torah as well. Why? Because now we can't use this pride as an excuse. Why? Because you could find out whether you're right or wrong by simply asking your rabbi, by simply looking at the Torah. Is what you said and what you think written in a book in a Torah, or is it simply your own idea that you're trying to be overly righteous? Because Shlomo HaMelech says, Al tiyeh tzadik harbeh. Don't be overly righteous. Don't be more righteous than what the Torah says. So does that mean that every woman can just talk to anybody? No. Does that mean that every woman has to be closed up and be so modest that no one ever sees her? No. So what does it mean then? It means you have certain things. And that's what we're going to go over now. Let me know what you think and make sure to share it because other people need to learn too.